Okay, today is the 6th of January. Our what we now actually our class, our third class, right? Beside last month. This is the first New Year class. So we have covered webinar number 1, 2, and 3. So today we'll try to cover 2 webinars, and at the end of the class, I will brief you all with regards to the presentation number 2. Okay, now could you see the slide on the screen right now?
Can,
Boleh
Doktor?
nampak?
Boleh.
Alright. Okay, webinar number 4 is about motivation. Okay, for
Thank
this
you.
topic, you should be able to describe 3 key elements of motivation. We are talking about now motivation, how to motivate staff, and as well, and I have mentioned to you already for the previous class. You have to imagine, for this class, you have to imagine that you are a manager. All right. Compare the early theories of motivation, and then contrast the elements of self-determination theory and goal-setting theory. Demonstrate the differences between self-efficacy theory, reinforcement theory, equity theory, and expectancy theory. All are related to the motivation that brings the staff towards a better job satisfaction and performance. Identify the implications of employee job engagement for managers and describe how the contemporary theories of motivation complement one another. Okay, first and foremost, what is motivation? Okay, motivation tu apa? I just have to ask you guys first. What do you understand by motivation? Anyone?
Oh, something feel great lah. If your boss pat you on the back and say, "Oh, job well done," it's a good enough motivation.
Why does your boss crack you at the back?
Oh, maybe he also study motivational theory, So he instead of scolding lah, you go and pat people. People will work harder for you. That's what I think.
Correct. In practical, that's correct. In academic, what we call definitions, motivations actually the most important thing is to drive the efforts towards the organizational goals, right? It is a process, right? It's stated there, a process that account for an individual's intensity. So that means the boss want to increase your intensity, okay? And then direction and persistence. Intensity for what? Direction to where? And persistent for what? Okay, persistent of efforts in attaining an organizational goal. Okay, motivation is for the intensity towards towards the organizational goal, but it is not enough, right? Intensity is there, but it must be directed to what organization wants, right? And also it must be persistent, consistent, right? Must be there all the time. The 3 important process in a motivation is first intensity, the amount of effort put forth to meet the goal, and then direction towards channel towards organizational goal, and persistent means how long the effort is maintained. Kita tak nak macam orang Melayu cakap hot chicken shit, hangat-hangat tai ayam, kan? Sekejap saja dia motivated, lepas tu hilang, kan? That's why it must be persistent. Okay, these are the early theories of motivation. It means that these are the most earliest studies which relates to motivation, right? All the studies are from the social studies. Firstly is Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and then Herzberg two-factor theory and McClellan theory of needs. Firstly, the hierarchy needs of needs theory. I think all of you have gone through this, right? Pernah tengok tak ni? Hierarchy needs of theory. Self-actualization, esteem, social belongingness, safety, security, and psychological needs. It says that, according to Abraham Maslow, in order for you to fulfill the upper needs, you need to fulfill the basic need or the lower needs first. First is physiological needs. Any physical needs, hunger, right? Food, drinks, your sexual satisfaction, or related to physical needs. You have to fulfill that. You have to fulfill almost all those physiological needs. Only then you are able to achieve the safety and security needs. Okay. What is the example of safety and security needs? Yok, toma ada kelas. What is the example of security needs?
Ada rumah is
Money.
security. Ada finance.
Yeah, correct. Not only for physical security, for other needs of security. And then social belongingness. Social belongingness. The slide that I'll be given to you all will be stated there. Social belongingness. What is social belongingness? The feel that you belong to somebody. Yeah. As a human, you cannot be alone. Okay, you must feel that you have the acquaintance. Yeah, you have the feelings that you are belonging to somebody, right? You have the what we call the partnership, right? That's the social belongingness. All right. If you fulfill all of a majority of the social belongingness needs, only then you can achieve the esteem needs. Okay, what's the example of esteem needs?
Being appreciated.
Jahil?
Being respected. Being appreciated.
Okay. Being respected, being recognized.
Being recognized.
Right? Being known, kan? So esteem needs, kan? Sometimes people put in the social media on Instagram, Facebook for achievement, so their achievement and everything, they need the esteem needs. They need somebody to praise you, right? Okay. And then the most highest needs, according to Abraham Maslow, is self-actualization needs. Okay, the feelings that you have achieved almost everything already in life. That's a self-actualization needs. These are the needs according to Abraham Maslow. Of course, there are critics with regards to these needs. But one of the studies in relation to the motivation is from the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy needs theory. Okay, yang ni lagi best. Two-factor theory according to Herzberg. Okay. Dalam two-factor theories, according to Herzberg, there are two things that you need to fulfill: motivation factors and hygiene factors. Okay. Hygiene factors. Okay, never mind. Hygiene factors. hygiene factors are what we call the needs that you must be fulfilled in order to lower down the dissatisfaction. Okay, but if you want to fulfill the satisfaction in jobs, you have to fulfill the motivation factors. So that means to lower down the dissatisfaction is a separate entity from fulfilling the satisfaction. Here, you see? Okay. According to Herzberg, other views, satisfaction, I mean the opposite is the dissatisfaction. But according to Herzberg, there are two different entities. If you are not able to fulfill the motivating factors, which are motivators, there will be less or no satisfaction. Okay, if you are not able to fulfill the hygiene factors, there will be dissatisfaction. So that means in one scenario, you can satisfy with your job, and at the same time you also dissatisfied with the job. Nampak tak? Okay, I go back to this picture. All right. Say, for example, if you fulfill the hygiene factors like quality of supervision, so that means the one who supervises you, the pay, the company policies, physical working condition, relationship, job security. Okay, if you fulfill all the needs there, so that means there will be no dissatisfaction. Okay, about your job, no dissatisfaction. But at the same time, it is not guarantee you satisfy with your job. In order for you to satisfy with your job, there will be other separate factors, which is promotional opportunities, opportunities for growth, recognition, responsibility, and achievement. Okay, so that's why some employers, sometimes they satisfy with the jobs, but there are some dissatisfaction because they have fulfilled the motivation factor, but they are not fulfilled the hygiene factor. In order to satisfy and there will be no dissatisfaction, you have to fulfill both hygiene factors and motivation factors. Kan? Pelik-pelik kan orang scholars ni kan? But you get what I mean? Ada sesiapa lagi yang tak faham tak? Anyone? Yeah, connect to people, betul. Just now, alright. Okay, boleh? Sebab I nampak seorang dia mengangguk, Mr. Chin dia mengangguk, kan? Mr. Dennis saja mengangguk. Yang lain okay?
Okay, faham.
Alright, okay, good. Okay, another early theories of motivation is McClellan needs theory of needs. Okay, according to McClellan, basically, right, there are three what we call needs for employees to go to the to go for work. Okay, the need for achievement. Okay, sorry, there are three motivation for them to go to work. First, it's need for achievement, right? The drive to excel. So you achieve something, right? Secondly, is the need for power. The need to make others behave in a way that they would not behave otherwise. So that means the need for somebody to listen to them, somebody to follow them. Okay. The third need is the need for affiliation. The desire for friendly and close interpersonal relationship. They go to work, the motivation is that the acquaintance, somebody that they can talk to, somebody to become friends, right? That's another motivation. Okay. And according to McClellan, high achievers prefers job with personal responsibility, feedback, and immediate degree of risk. 50-50. So, according to the study, says that achievers prefer job with personal responsibility, feedback, intermediate degree of risk. So, what do you think? Which motivation are for the high achievers? Is it need for achievement, power, and affiliation?
Achiever.
Yes, correct. Achiever. And then according to McClellan, high achievers are not necessarily good managers. Even though they are good achievers, but sometimes they cannot be a good manager. If you follow football, right? Just like imagine Wayne Rooney, he's a good footballer, but he's a failure at becoming a manager, kan? Baru kena sack, kan? Daripada Birmingham ke mana, tak ingat, kan? Just like
Yeah,
that.
after 15 games.
Huh? Yeah?
After 15 games.
Come again, tak dengar?
Yes, after 15 games.
Yeah, yes, after 15 games. 13 kalah, eh?
Correct.
All right, good. Good, Ms. Wina. Dia tahu strike, dia manage tak tahu correct. And then, according to the study of McClellan, it says that high need for power and low need for affiliation is related to managerial success. Why do you think that? Kenapa? High need for power and low need for affiliation is related to managerial success.
See, maybe it's an example of last time the late Prime Minister of our neighbor country. I watch his video a lot. He is very powerful. He's a no nonsense guy lah. And then he knows what he wants, and then he doesn't want to make friends.
Yeah, correct. Because this type of people, right, they know how to use the power, right? They know how to what we call use the power, and at the same time, they are able to put the line between them and also the followers. Okay, they are low in affiliation. They can separate between, for example, the work and also personal things, right? Even though it is related to them, their friends or family or whatever. So that's why these people are related to managerial success.
Crucial decision makers.
Yes, correct. They are decision makers. They stick to it. They don't mind about the relationship and everything, right? Okay. Okay. Now we come to the contemporary theories of motivation. I think I have, I don't know whether I have clarified to you the difference between early theories, contemporary theories, and also the late and contingency theories. Do you know what's the difference? Okay, this is according to the academic studies lah. Early theories is the study from the early study, right? Anything any studies especially in the in relation to the social studies, start with the early studies, and then come to another era. There are contingency studies. So that means that the contingency studies will refer to the early studies, but at the same time, they improvise the previous studies, or they amend the previous studies, okay, or they make the previous they make it better. But most of the studies come from the early studies. They study and they improvise it. That's the contingency theories. And then after that, the theories that come later on the era is called the contemporary theories of motivation. They also study from the previous study and they improvise it, but sometimes they come up with their own study. That's the contemporary theories. Okay, we look at the contemporary theories of motivation. Firstly is the self-determination theory and also the goal setting theory. Theory or theory? Tomato, sama aja kan? Dennis, theory or theory? Which one?
Theory.
Theory, eh? American cakap theory kan? Okay, self-determination theory. People prefer, according to this theory, people prefer to have control over their actions so that they feel they are forced to do something they previously enjoyed. Motivation will decrease. I repeat, people prefer to have control over their action. So when they feel they are forced to do something they previously enjoyed, motivation will decrease. Can somebody explain, or somebody can give example on this? Hari ni saya jarang dengar suara Miss Jawahir, Miss Vina.
Tadi baru je I cakap.
Oh, ada kan? Sekali.
Tak, Azan. I think doktor, this is something, okay, let's take for example like us, we are adult student kan. Sebelum kita pursue sebelum kita further study, sebenarnya I dapat enough sleep lah. Let's say for example 7 hours daily. Tapi because of I nekat nak sambung belajar, so I have to sacrifice my rest time. Kena belajar sampai lewat malam, you know, something like that. I don't know. Probably that is one of the example.
No, I'm afraid no.
Oh, okay.
It's very simple, and you can even relate to our children's daily life. Macam ni, okay. You do something, right? You enjoy doing something, right? Voluntarily. But once you're being asked to do the same thing, the fun is not there anymore. Kan? Macam just like you enjoy cooking, you enjoy baking cake at your own time, without somebody forcing it. You enjoy baking cake, right? But once your husband or your children ask you to bake cake, right? They ask you, and they make it routine. Weekend, you have to make cake. Then the motivation to make the cake will decrease because people don't like to be asked to do. People don't like to be forced. Betul tak?
Okay, faham.
Kan? All right. Okay. In self-determination theories, there is also another related theory called cognitive evaluation theory. It says that the introduction of an extrinsic reward for work. Okay, reward apa ataupun balasan ataupun ganjaran bersifat luaran, extrinsic reward. For example, pay, bonus ke salary ke, and that was previously intrinsically rewarding tends to decrease overall motivation. What do I understand by that?
It means people need salary raise every 2 years minimum. Otherwise, they get sick of their job.
Okay, not only once they sick of the job, because once you reach certain what we call certain salary scale, the extrinsic rewards will not be a motivation anymore. There are other intrinsic rewards that could be your motivation, which is motivates you better than extrinsic reward. Betul tak?
Betul.
You kerja baru fresh graduate, biasa fresh graduate kerja dapat salary tinggi, suka and everything. But once they reach a certain limit or certain what we call position where the salary is quite high, and then after that the salary itself is not be a main motivation anymore. There will be other motivation, self-satisfaction and everything. Sometimes it change to the family time dan sebagainya. That's the cognitive evaluation theory. Okay, what about self-concordance? It refers to consider how strongly people's reason for pursuing goals are consistent with their interests and core values. Okay, it is also related to the discussion under the self-determination theory. It says that how strongly people's reasons for pursuing goals are consistent with their interests and core values. What do you understand by that? Self-concordance. Nak tengok siapa lagi yang selalu aktif tetapi hari ini dia senyap aja. Wina dah cakap tadi. Where's Mr. Desmond Watson?
Yes, sir.
Hari ini senyap je.
Baru balik kerja, so a bit tired.
I see. Okay. Yang penat ya, letih.
But still managed to join in class.
Okay. Boring or adapting other people's motivation. Okay. Self-concordance. All right. Whatever it says that whatever motivations, whatever that you need to pursue, right? When you're pursuing goals, usually are consistent with your own personal interests and your own core values, right? If you think that the thing that you want to achieve is consistent or relevant with the interests and core values, you will achieve faster. You will be more motivated to achieve that particular goal. All right. The more relevant the interest and the core value is with your personal life, is the more motivating you with to pursuing the goals. That is what self-concordance means. Yeah, passion. But this passion, the more what we call the thing is related to your core values, related to your interest, the more passion that you have to do something. Yes, correct. Correct, Mr. Jack, and also Ms. Wina. Occupational burnout. Okay. Actually, everybody sometimes have the occupational burnout for a certain period of time, but when ataupun the period of time you'll get back your momentum, it also depends whether what you do is relevant with the interest or core values. Kan? Kalau you burn out and then you want to continue, but it is not quite relevant with your interest and core values, the recovery might be longer compared to those with the same interest and core values. Okay. Goal setting theory. All right. It's according to it is founded by a scholar named Edward Locke. Okay, what's the idea? Say that the idea behind this theory is that goals are specific and effectively difficult, can lead to higher performance if they include self-generated feedback. Okay. A difficult goal will have will help the individual to focus and direct attention, as well as energize them to work harder. The difficult of the goal will increase persistence and force people to be more effective and efficient. Okay, because the difficult goal will get a higher achievement. All right, less difficult goal will get a less achievement. Okay. Just give an example of our athlete in what we call in Olympics, kan? Tengok atlet di luar negara, kan? What is your target? I wanna break the world record, right? I wanna achieve the gold medal, right? Malaysia macam mana? Oh, I want to break my personal record. I want to break the national record, kan? So, who's gonna get higher achievement, right? Of course, the international athletes, right? But the other way around, look at the pocket rocket man. You tahu tak siapa pocket rocket man?
Azizul Hasni.
Yes, Azizul Hasni Awang, right? He said that every time he said that I want to target goal, I want to break the Olympic records, right? Okay, even though he didn't get, at least he get silver, right? Because he target high and at least he achieved something high. That's all about the goal setting theory. Wanting to try out and see whether can complete a difficult task. Correct. Correct, Desmond. Correct. So, in the goal setting theory, it says that goal increase performance when the goals are specific. Okay, that's why when in a company, managers have to put a specific goal. Difficult, but accepted by employees. And you can add, as long as it didn't run away from the organizational goals. Okay, it is difficult. Sometimes we have some sort of negotiation with what employees have to achieve at the end of the year, for example, right? After this discussion, right, you will achieve some agreeable what we call goals, right? Agreeable achievement that the employee should achieve in the end of the year. So there will be a negotiation, but it must not run away from organizational goals. This is why is written the concept of management by objective, MBO. Right? These goals must also accompanied by feedback. Self-generated feedback is the best. Okay, when for example before the end of the year, maybe setengah tahun, 3 quarterly, there will be a feedback with regards to how the employee achieved so far. Are they on the way to achieve the goals? Are they right on track or not? If it is not on track, you have to highlight to them so that they will be back on track for the remaining month. That is a feedback. Okay. What are the contingencies in goal setting theory? So that means that what are the factors that might be changed in the goal setting theory? It says that goal commitment. The public goals better. Okay. It means that the commitment of the goal, if it is publicized, just like organization, if they publicize the goal of the organization, it will be better because everyone know and everyone will try to achieve the goal, right? And even for the individual goals, it's better for you to inform the employee that this is your goal and everything, so they can achieve it, and people or immediate supervisor will have a feedback or to remind if they are not right on track. Simple and familiar is better. The task characteristic, the task of that particular task to achieve the goal, the simple and familiar is better. Okay, but it says that the goal setting theory is more suitable with the Western culture. Why is that? Or other studies, it says that goal setting theory, right, is suitable with the low context culture. Actually, Western and low context culture, most of the West country are the low context culture. But why is that? Kenapa? Ada chat, ada jawapan ke? Yes, performance management review, yes, related to this feedback just now. Yeah, Mr. Lim. Asian tends to follow. Okay, some Asian country, right, which are low context culture, right? Why? Because low context culture or the Western culture, all right, when they want to achieve something, they will say, okay, they are direct. Okay, when they say, it is a direct meaning, kan? Kalau macam Eastern culture ataupun high context culture, kalau low high context culture ataupun Eastern culture, dia suka, dia tak direct tau. Kalau dia cakap pun dia macam always there is a intrinsic meaning. Dia ada tersurat. Dia ada tersirat, kan? Tersurat means direct, tersirat is indirect. So if you in this culture, if you say that you're gonna achieve number one, you are the number one, I can achieve that, right? I'm confident that I achieve that, right? dia seolah-olah macam kalau Eastern culture ni orang nampak tu macam belagak tau. That's why Western culture suits best. Kan? Because their culture is like that. They meant what they say. Kan? The high context culture or most of the Eastern culture, they are quite indirect. Kan? They're quite very what we call there are a lot of humility in the words. That's why goal setting theory, according to scholar, berlapis, correct. Western prefer work-life balance. Yes, correct. Apa dia BRB ni? Miss Wina?
Be right back.
Okay, alright.
Be right back, doktor nak pergi tandas kejap, boleh?
Okay, tak apa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alamak, I bukan zaman WeChat. BRB. Okay. Alright. Ada lagi message. Okay. Now, we're talking about management by objective. It's related to the self-determination theory. Management by objective. Here it's stated there that it's a systematic way to utilize goal-setting theory in which goals are set jointly by managers and employers. Okay, converts overall organizational objective into specific objective for work units and individual. So that means organization have certain goals or objective, right? And then it breaks into the division or department. It breaks into units. It breaks into the individual goals. All right. When we have target for our staff, in the beginning of the year, for example, what you need to achieve at the end of the year, you have to make clear that why you have to achieve that. What is it related to the organizational goal? That's the management by objective. Katakanlah, I give a very simple example. Katakan dalam kilang, kan, kilang membuat air botol, kan. Kata you have to prepare one day 100 bottles per day. So that means for 1 month, 22 days, you have to prepare 2,200 bottles per month. So 2,200 bottles in a year. Ya, real sikit matematik ni. 2200 times 12, you have 26,400 bottles a year. Now you have 100 staff at the same position. Okay, all of them have to achieve 100 bottles a day, right? Why? Because company want to have a target about 2.5 million bottles produced in a year, so they can give to the suppliers, the customers, so on and so forth. 100 bottles, all right? So that's why you have to have 100 bottles a day. Okay. And then macam kita cakap tadi, there are negotiation agreed by both party. Kalau kata employee cakap tinggi sangatlah, boleh tak 90 bottles a day. Okay, kalau 90 bottles a day times 22 days times 12 months, macam mana boleh 90 times 22 times 12 times 100 people. You only got 2.3 million. So organizational objective cannot be achieved. because organizational objective goals is 2.5 million. Okay, negotiate again, 95 bottles times 22 times 12 times 100 staff. It's about 2.508 million. Okay, you can achieve that. You can get that. What about 95? You can do that, but just in case you need spare, just in case maybe there are some clients who want to make an extra order for certain days for festive season or whatever. So what about 97 bottles a day? 97 times 22 days times 12 months times 100 is 2.56. Yes, you can. So if both parties have a clear understanding of the objective of organization, it is easier for both to agree, because both know that there are some negotiation, and at the same time, even though things are negotiated, but you will not run away from the organizational objective. That is all about MBO. You tahu tak siapa yang start MBO ni? I think last class I dah bagi tahu kot. MBO punya konsep datang dari mana? Anyone? Just a general knowledge question.
Maybe Ford Company.
Okay, dia punya industri tu dah close lah. Is automotive industry, but Toyota. Because there's one time where American automotive punya performance decline, and then they go visit Japan, and then they visit Toyota. Toyota have this particular concept. They bring the concept to the US, and it is proven. So management by active basically is come from Japan, and the company of Toyota. Okay. The common ingredients of MBO: goal specificity. It must be specific, right? Explicit time period, of course, 1 year or 6 months or 2 years. Performance feedback. So within that certain period, before at the end of the targeted period, there must be a performance. A feedback, whether the staff is right on track, whether the staff they are not on track, so we will motivate them to be on track, or are under performance period. And participation in decision making. Okay, yes, sort of like more decentralized management. But some of the other studies says that number 4 is the performance rewards according to the performance. Some books say reward according to performance. Some books say participation in decision making. But I think it's a combination of both as well. Okay, this is example of the cascading the objective from what we say that organizational objective into specific objective. The company is over organizational objective. It's been broken down to divisional objective, administration and operations, so on and so forth, and then departmental objective as well as individual objective. Okay, this individual objective will achieve the departmental objective, in which the departmental objective, it will help to achieve divisional objective, and then divisional objective will help to achieve the overall organizational objective. Okay, naik. Bye-bye. Sorry. Ada seorang anak syurga orang panggil. 18 years old already. Okay. These are other contemporary theories of motivation. Self-efficacy, reinforcement theory, equity theory, and also expectancy theory. Equity theory is also said to be an organizational justice theory. Okay, what is self-efficacy theory? Hari ni belajar teori saja, kan? Kalau masa I student dulu belajar teori, I pun mengantuk. Nasib baik hari ni I tak mengajar. Hari ni I tak belajar, I mengajar.
Kita orang yang mengantuk.
Pada muka.
Doktor boleh tanya tak?
Boleh.
Saya nak tanya tadi tu. Berarti kalau itu objektif kan, dia sorry saya bahasa memang tak baik. Bahasa tak baik, English tak baik. So
tak apa. Cuba.
I try to explain Berarti kalau itu objektif kan dari management sampai individual punya objektif, overall punya, berarti dia flow dari atas dulu lepas turun, lepas tu kena flow balik kan, flow balik macam kita ini company dia ada satu overall punya objektif. Tapi itu objektif meet tak meet dia kena flow ke bawah. Tengok orang yang macam individual yang make it happen tu orang. Mungkin dia orang ada objektif yang lain-lain punya point of view atau apa. So itu objektif dia orang akan throw up pi atas feedback ke management tak?
Yes, but depends on the company. Because sometimes the company biasalah kan, companies selalunya dia ada their own organizational objective, right? The one why the anak panas going down, because it shows that cascading means that dia bahagi-bahagikan dia punya objektif ke bawah. Okay. Like what you say, whether it's going up, if there is any feedback before the agreed objective, it depends on the company itself. Just like macam tadi contoh, katakan company dah set 2.5 million bottles of drink a year, kan? We can only discuss so that the individual punya target is within achievable 2.5 million. So that means about 95 to 97 bottles a year for individual. Okay, but if the employee want to give other feedbacks, it says that 2.5 million is very difficult. Okay, then it's up to the top management whether they want to adjust the overall organizational objective or not. The one that we discuss for the amendment of the objective is just for the individual objective, but to change the overall organizational objective, top management must see the target of the company, because maybe for this example 2.5 million because it is their operational needs to what we call to deliver to their clients, to the suppliers, so on and so forth.
Berarti dia macam makan itu elephant lah, dia macam dia break to small pieces and then go down and then go down and then go down, means kita mau tak mau mesti mau.
Yes.
Kalau sangat tak boleh, baru kita feedback kan. Macam sangat tak boleh, either kita nak bincang tentang facility ke apa ke semua tu, baru kita feedback kan. Berarti kita terima saja, lepas tu kita baru feedback kan. Sebab dia ada tentang reward apa, kita kalau you set tu target yang kita memang tak boleh achieve punya, so I tengok dia one way down sajalah.
Maybe. Tapi kalau macam it depends, macam ada setengah company with that actually the target for example that 2.5 million, tapi the company letak 3 million kan, and then dia tak beritahu middle managers, actually we only can we 2.5 pun cukup tapi kita letak 3 kan. Dia tak beritahu middle managers, and then come to the individual, they want to feedback too many, even though 97. Kalau top managers kata boleh, mungkin sebenarnya organizational goal bukan 3 million, actually 2.5 saja dia tak beritahu middle managers and so on. Depends, kan? Sebab all the KPI semua ni, okay, kalau you belajar management, you dah ambil principle of management ke belum, you guys?
Belum.
Belum, eh? Okay.
Belum.
Alright. Dalam principle of management, dia ada 4 function: planning, organizing, leading and controlling. Dalam planning ni lah, that's why top managers are involved in the planning. CEOs or whatever, CFO, whatever, they involved in planning. So goals are in the planning. Okay, planning to execute the strategy which achieve the goals. Kalau organizational goals, that is the what we call the Bible of the organization. Okay, whatever you kena pandukan kepada this goal. That's why sometimes when they have cascaded into the individual, kalau they want the things that is not achievable to the organizational goal, top managers are not able to prepare to negotiate lah. Okay, am I answering your question?
Ya. I boleh faham. Sebab kita pun sekarang akan buat macam tu. Kita macam big buat besar sikit, lepas tu mungkin kita dapat lah. Lepas tu kita feedback ke atas, macam supply chain, kita boleh buat 50, kita feedback dia 32 sahaja.
Because they want to make a room for negotiation. Some organization, they want to make a room for negotiation, so they target higher. Right. So there will be the gap for negotiation is slightly besar sikit, kan? Okay, sekejap. Ada soalan. KPI letak tinggi-tinggi, paperwork nak cantik je. Biasalah tu organisation, kan? PLOC, betul. That's why some university they prefer student to take management first, and then after that they take organizational behavior. Sebab most of the organizational behavior punya study ni is under the management. Okay. We look at the self-efficacy theory.
Doktor,
Yes.
boleh saya add on? Doktor, sometimes salah satu sebab kenapa diorang ni letak KPI tinggi-tinggi is not because diorang pandai letak KPI tu. Sebab diorang ada setengah manager tu, mereka memang tak ada capacity pengetahuan terhadap benda-benda tu. Tapi mereka ni dapat kepercayaan daripada macam CEO bank. Tapi sebenarnya diorang tak tahu buat paperwork tu. Jadi benda tu yang jadi salah.
Okay, actually yes, correct. I have to agree with you, like, because actually sebenarnya kalau somebody being appointed as a manager, dia kena baca buku that book. What's the planning of the organization, targets and everything. Only then they are able to what we call to execute atau to make papers, kan? Sometimes pun manager tu kalau buat working paper pun, another higher manager above them, so-called the immediate supervisor or immediate manager of that particular manager pun tak baca the overall objective of the organization. That's the reality that happens in some of the organization, kan? That's why the budget is burst, and then the project sometimes lari pada kehendak organization.
Ya,
Because-
betul. Sebab kebanyakannya banyak projek-projek yang gagal, company-company yang gagal sebab diorang ni tak tahu buat, tak tahu baca, tak tahu nak plan. Tapi lagak macam orang hebat-hebat. Tapi diorang ada connection lah macam tu. Tapi bila
That's the
come to
thing.
the real one, to the practical one, mereka memang tak boleh buat.
Okay, the simplest example is that, okay, kenapa tak dapat achieve keuntungan dan sebagainya? Tapi you appoint crony, katakan you appoint people who are not supposed to do over there. When you appoint somebody who is not within the planning or within the organization punya function, punya responsibility, you have organized everything. When you don't do that, you add people, then you add costs. When you add cost, profit will decrease. That's the importance of planning. Kan? The planning, the head count is under organizing. Which also one of the management function. Kan? When you add something that is not necessary, then you will increase the liability in which that it will eat your profit. Betul tak? Cik Sama? I dah lama tinggalkan corporate world.
Ya betul doktor, saya setuju sebab saya pernah ada dapat experience ni. Saya punya manager tu dia sebab kita orang ni kalau macam bahagian F&B ni, kita orang banyak pada operation. So tak ada banyak yang macam involve dengan report-report, PNL semua kan. So my manager yang kat atas ni tiba kerana yang previous manager tu dia dah resign. So CEO saya ni lebih percayakan dia sebab dia pandai buat VIP service semua. Tapi once kita pergi pada report semua, everything delay. Sebab dia tak tahu macam mana nak calculate pun. Even cost, nak kira cost berapa persen, nak kira macam banyaklah yang PNL punya case kan, nak calculation kan. Semua dia tak tahu buat. Jadi bila dia nak buat, dia benda tu jadi lambat dan apa-apa yang kita orang nak buat claim ke, nak buat nak beli barang ke apa tu, semua macam justification jadi dia macam tak balance, tak betul. Jadi saya rasa
Goes back to McClellan punya teori. High achievers are not necessarily good managers. Can work kan?
Ya, setuju. Tapi dia tak achieve apa-apa pun kecuali dia achieve the trust. I think dia punya biggest yang dia dapat ialah trust, di mana tak semua orang boleh dapat trust.
That's the reality of happening kan. We can learn ideally, this is ideal kan. Sometimes ideal politician pun tak boleh survive in politics kan. Even the ideal study pun cannot be brought to the practical. But actually we learn ideal things for management or organization behavior, but sometimes cannot be applied to the reality because it has been ruined already. That's the thing lah. But at least you know what it should be theoretically, right?
Betul. Lagi satu sebab saya baru join ini kelas 2 kali. So I rasa ini kelas kan tak macam saya yang fikir. I rasa ini kelas macam lebih pada psikologi tau. Banyak yang saya tidak terfikir macam ada orang walaupun dia tak suka company itu, tetapi sebab dia punya royalty, dia still boleh tinggal, dia still boleh di sana. So ini ada macam-macam breakdown to many reasons. So open my eyes lah. I rasa macam teori macam mana perangai itu orang, macam mana akan terjadi apa-apa tu. Tak macam saya fikir punya kelas lah.
Itu yang study. I think last webinar got ada study about affective dengan cognitive affective behavior. Kalau pemikiran you dengan you punya what you feel, it will affect your behavior. Tapi ada certain thing, you punya pemikiran lain dengan you punya perasaan lain, but you behavior you lain. Tapi disebabkan apa? Disebabkan rewards, disebabkan things that motivate you to do. to do otherwise kan. Itu I rasa dah belajar dalam perception kot, attitude kan. Last two webinar. Either attitudes or personality factor kan.
Ya, Doktor.
Alright. Kita sambung. Self-efficacy theory. An individual believes that he or she is capable of performing tasks. Right. It's also known as social cognitive theory because all start with our brain or social learning theory. Okay. Social learning theory. Okay. Social cognitive theory. It says that again, an individual's belief that he or she is capable of performing the task, and it is increased by gaining experience. Okay, when you perform certain tasks, right, it will be better when you do it in the future many times, right? Because you have gained the experience. Or it can be increased by vicarious modeling. So that means somebody as a model that you follow, see someone else to do the task. Or verbal persuasion, someone convinces you that you have the skill, then you feel confident. And arousal, something that you can get you energized. These four are also related to the motivation, according to the self-efficacy theory. Either gaining experience, either see somebody to do the task, either somebody convince you that you have the skills and you get energized for something. But sometimes the company terpaksa set KPI to cover the bottom line. Yes, correct. For survival of the company. Even KPI rasa macam tak capai akalku. Yes, betul. Yeah, that's the reality of it. Okay. It says that goal setting theory and self-efficacy theory don't compete. They complement each other. All right. As this shows, employees whose managers set difficult goals for them will have a higher level of self-efficacy and set high goals for their own performance. Why? Setting difficult goals for people communicates your confidence in them. That's why they complement each other. Okay, reinforcement theory. Reinforcement theory is the behavior is a functions of consequences. All right. All right. It says that. Yeah. Macam mana sekejap? I tak familiar sikit dengan Zoom ni. Okay. In contrast to goal setting, reinforcement theory suggests that behavior is a function of consequences. Okay. What is the consequences that you have? Okay. If you do certain things, you are being rewarded. Or you do certain thing, you have a positive reinforcement. Then there is a high possibility that the behavior will be repeated. Okay. If you have a negative reinforcement, are not being reinforced at all, there is a possibility that the same behavior will not be repeated. Okay. Let me read again. The most relevant component of reinforcement theory is operant conditioning theory. Okay. Under the reinforcement theory, there's another study called operant conditioning theory, which argues that people learn to behave a certain way to either get something they want or to avoid something they don't want. Okay, it's also the consequences of certain thing, right? People learn atau people behave in certain way in order to gain something, or people learn in certain way in order to avoid from something. That's operant conditioning theory. And then the view that we can learn by observing and direct experience is called social learning theory. This is, I think this is related to, more related to the self-efficacy theory. On the self-learning theory, it is more observed rather than behavior itself. You observe, you like, and then you follow that particular behavior. You observe, you don't like, you don't follow that particular behavior. All right. So, in short, what related to the reinforcement theory is two theories. That is operant conditioning theory and social learning theory. Operant conditioning theory is you do certain behavior to get certain thing or to avoid certain things. Okay, but on the social learning theory, before you do certain behavior, you monitor or you watch other people's behavior or other models' behavior. Okay, what about the equity theory? Equity theory says that employees weigh what they put into job satisfaction, which is input, against what they get from it, outcome. What they do in the job is the input. What they get is the outcome. That's the basic thing. Okay. What's that got to do with equity theory? Okay. Is they compare the input outcome ratio with the input outcome ratio of relevant others. Okay. The first situation. Katakan Miss Jawahir, okay, they compare salary dengan Miss Salma. Miss Jawahir thought that he is underpaid, even though katakan the same position, kan, the same responsibility, but Miss Salma get higher salary, so there will feel inequity due to being under rewarded. Kalau they compare, for example, lebih kurang sama, it is equity. Kalau Miss Jawahir think that he's being paid better than Miss Salma, they also feel inequity, but due to being over rewarded. So for inequity, there will be a certain behavior that will be carried out by Miss Jawahir. Okay, it's either under rewarded, nanti kita tengok consequences dia apa dia, ataupun over rewarded. Alright, equity theory suggests employees who perceive inequity, over ke under rewarded ke, will make one of the 6 choices. Yang pertama, changes input. Input apa? Apa dia buat, apa kerja dia. So, kalau feel inequity, people will change input. Change input ni macam mana? Apa dia buat? What do you think that they will do? When they want to, they feel inequity and they will change input.
Do less work.
Come again?
They will do less work, silent quitting.
Less work, correct. and management terms is called alamat lupa lah. They laid back kan. That's the term I forgot already. Okay, nanti I ingat balik. Kalau after class pun nanti I WhatsApp you what's the term.
How about the multitasking? What? Maybe dia dibayar satu tapi dia buat kerja sampai 3-4 sebab dia boleh buat. Based on the project, sometimes based on the project dia ada project A, B, C.
Okay.
So maybe contohlah macam dia kerja sebagai project manager A. Tapi beside dia pun kena oversee the project B dengan C. So that's why people bayar dia lebih sebab boleh cut cost contoh.
That's you distort the perception of self. Kalau katakan you under rewarded kan, walaupun you banyak kerja, okay, there must be a behavior and at least distort perception of self. You rasa oh maybe you are in the same in the different department or different responsibility kan, ada lebih ada kurang dia. You distort the perception of yourself, right? Mungkin memujuk hati, itu pun distort the perception of self. Yeah, we are talking about the feedback after being inequity.
Tapi doktor, bab salary ni doktor, sometimes because saya pernah lah facing this problem kan. It depends on your experience. Contoh
Yes.
you ada dua manager kan, you ada dua position untuk jadi manager. Tapi satu manager ni dia punya experience 10 tahun. Dan dia pernah kerja dekat banyak yang tempat-tempat yang bagus-bagus semua kan. So satu lagi manager ni dia cuma ada macam tiga tempat kerja. Tapi biasa-biasa.
Yes, I understand. I'm talking about the I just give you a simple example. The reward itself is not necessarily the salary, right? The reward, the perception itself also not necessarily referring to the salary. The perception itself, because you say about the experience and everything. Maybe in other scenario they'll put that particular perception. Okay, fine. You say for example, you compare with Vina, all right. I experience, katakan contohnya, Salma experience 5 tahun, gaji 8,000. Vina experience 8 years, gaji 10,000. Tapi kalau you feel equity, that should be no problem, kan? Okay. Input is just what you compare. If you compare salary with experience, it's also input. If you don't compare salary with the experience, also input. It depends on your perception. The one that we are discussing is how do you feel? Is it under rewarded, equity, or over rewarded?
So
You feel unequity or equity? Yeah.
I have a question. So what you're trying to say is the only way we can overcome this, or one of the ways to overcome, is to make sure that you have a very clear, distort perception for the individuals to see towards self and others. So the company is responsible to create such a thing, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct. That's another topic within the organizational behavior also, right? If the company perceive that there are feelings of inequity, right, they have to overcome it. There must be a way to change the perception.
So education is very important. Awareness is very
Yes,
important
correct.
for the employees. So educate your employees why people are paid the way they are paid and where individually they are sitting in the company. So there's no dissatisfaction like that, which is impossible to achieve like 100%. We all know that.
Yeah.
But okay, we try.
Of course, everything we will try to minimize. Of course, we cannot what we call eradicate 100%, but at least we can minimize, correct?
Yeah, agreed. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Alma, am I answering your question now?
Tak sure. Tapi saya rasa perception ni is a subjective kan?
Perception is subjective. Your
Yes.
individual, personal perception.
Yes.
Uh,
Jadi, I rasa beside the education, experience, the way how you understand di mana you berpijak, di mana you kerja, what is your company punya kerja, contoh dia dalam bidang apa, industri apa, is very important that you understand your company. Instead of
yes,
you
correct.
nak orang faham you, tapi you kena faham orang juga.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
And in this, yes, correct. In this scenario, you have to understand why. You have to, you will understand why your employees perceive that way, right? They might be, they feel inequity, right? They feel, if they feel inequity, what did they do, right? They change input. Maybe they laid off, right? Or they work harder, or even they feel inequity because under rewarded, they apply for another job, right? That's the change input, kan? Ataupun
tapi doktor, because you know it is rationally we cannot please everyone in the company. That's why it's always tied up with the KPI. That's why kita can ada MBO, okay? So everyone ada, because you know that good KPI is always based on SMART elements, specific, measurable, attainable, and so on, right? So bila you tak ada benda tu, you tak achieve, then you have to answerable, because everyone has different sets of competency. Competency comprising of skill, knowledge, and apa tu, attitude and behavior, right? Okay, mungkin saya dengan Salma sama, but ada area yang mungkin saya tak perform, that Salma has that, you know, forte or strength. I mean, that's the reason why company pay her higher than me. So I agree with Rina, we need to educate our people about the KPI, about the MBO, and so on.
But you have to remember, this is just a theory. A theory studied by the, this is an academic theory. Right, correct. This theory come from a scholars in which they are trying to what we call the theorize, put everything into the empirical studies, right? They put into what we call into the academic studies. Right?
Ya doktor, saya rasa basically teori dengan practical is more to practical lah. Because the theory is just a theory, atas angin je, orang tengok je kan.
It's not atas angin, but you can take it as a basic. And you improvise according to your practicality. Right?
Betul.
Because on the basic, you know, if they feel under rewarded, what they'll do, right? They change input or they change outcome, right? Or distort perception of self, maknanya dia memujuk diri, atau distort perception of others, kan? Dia mempengaruhi orang lain, right? Choose a different reference. You rasa it's not what we call it's not right to compare me with Salma. I need to compare with other people, which is almost the same in terms of experience, in terms of level of education, and so on and so forth. So you choose a different reference, or you leave the field, or you resign. This is what, according to the scholars of equity theory, thinks when people feel inequity. Right. Good to have a critical thinking over there. Okay. The model of organizational justice. Here, let me show you. Okay, is under the study of equity theory. Okay. It says that increasingly we think of equity as organizational justice. A larger perception of what is fair in the workplace. employees perceive their organizations as just when they see that what they receive matches what they have put in. Okay, they perceive as fair when they think that what they do matches of what they receive. Says that one key element of organizational justice is distributive justice. Employees tend to perceive their outcome are fairest when they have distributed equitably. All right. What they say about equity and the consideration of a person, right, on equity, right, lead on the three types of organizational justice, which is distributive justice, procedural justice, and interactional justice. Okay. Distributive justice, as what I mentioned, is employees tend to perceive their outcome are the fairest when they distributed equally. Procedural justice examines the perceived fairness of the process used to determine the distribution of the rewards. Beyond outcomes and procedures, research shows that employees care about two other forms of fairness that have to do with the way they're treated during the interactions with others. Okay. The first type is motivational justice. Informational justice, which reflect where managers provide employees with explanation for key decisions and keep them informed of important organizational matters. Second type is interpersonal justice, which reflects whether employees are treated with dignity and respect. The three components make up an individual's view of justice within the organization. Okay. All right. The discussion we have gone through later. I will brief on the model of the organizational justice. Okay. Equity theory is popular in the US because US style reward system assume that employees are highly sensitive to equity in reward allocation. Research shows, however, that in other cultures, inputs and outputs may be valued differently. Managers need to determine what is considered fair in particular culture. Managers need to be transparent, consistent, and unbiased in their decision making. Okay. What we have discussed is now about the what company have to do to educate them, right? To what we call to communicate with them is that managers need to be transparent with that. Okay, fine. We go back to model organizational justice. Okay. According to this theory, right, employees will compare the equity either on the reward itself, okay, on the reward itself, the tangible reward itself, the salary, the bonuses, right, and so on and so forth, on the distributive justice, all right, or they compare through the procedural justice, all right, perceived fairness of the process used to determine outcome. Just like when you say, okay, I'm comparing, I'm 5 years, the other party is 10 years, okay. He gets certain salary because of the increment of 2%, okay, because of the performance reward. I got certain amount of salary also because of the same percentage of the increment, because of the performance, the same performance. That's procedure on how you get the reward. Okay, some employees compare with the process, which is the procedural justice, and then some with the interactional justice, perceived degree to which one is treated with dignity and respect. Whatever it is you get or you receive, other people get and receive, they have to believe that they are treated with dignity and respect. I'll give an example. When telling me about my race, my supervisor was very nice and complimentary. Their employees sees this as the justice. So perceived equity or inequity depends on these factors. Either people see it on the distributive justice, procedural justice, or interactional justice. Okay. Expectancy theory. According to expectancy theory, okay, there are three key relationships: effort performance, perceived probability that exerting efforts leads to successful performance. You increase the effort, you will increase the performance. Here, individual efforts, for example, lead to the individual performance. It is called effort performance relationship. And then relationship between performance and reward. They believe that successful performance leads to the desired outcome. Okay. Organizational rewards depends on the individual performance. It is a performance reward relationship. Okay. This reward. But you have to see whether the reward achieve the personal goal, the attractiveness of the organizational outcome, the attractiveness of the reward to the individual. Here, organizational rewards depends on the personal goal. Rewards personal goal relationship. Okay. I give you another, just a simple example, right? You, as a manager, you tell your employees that, okay, there will be a special reward this year. If you are able to achieve your performance, you'll get a reward, which is a company trip to overseas. Okay. Or a family company trip to overseas. All right. Those who are attracted by the rewards will increase the individual efforts. Okay. With that, with that effort, it will increase the individual performance and they will get the rewards. But for those who are not interested in that reward, kan, because it's not their personal goal, alah ingat ke dapat duit, dapat trip aja, they will not increase the effort, right? They will, in that case, the performance will not increase and they will not get the reward. Okay. But it is a quite loss to the company as well because of the individual performance will not increase, it will affect the organizational performance. So, according to this theory, you must ensure that whatever rewards that you want to give to the employee because of the performance must suit with their personal goals or their personal interests. That's according to expectancy theory. Okay, kejap. Oh, tak ada check. Alright. Job engagement. It says that research shows that highly successful organization tend to have more engaged employees than average organization. Highly engaged employees believe it is meaningful to work, are inspired by leaders, similar values to those of the organization. Can you give me any example of job engagement? How employees engage with the job or organization? Anyone?
Example, people coming forward, sharing best practices, taking part in mentorship program, and they don't get paid for it, but they want to support, coach, so on and so forth. I mean, they can
Yes,
get paid, but you know, they want to do it themselves.
They always engage, or they always what we call involved with any activities or program with the organization because they like it. They are voluntarily. That's job engagement. Okay. Organizations where employees highly engaged have higher levels of productivity, fewer safety incidents. Why? Why fewer safety incidents? Because they will not engage with organizational harmful behavior, right? And then lower turnover. So they will not resign. Okay, that's why overall you need to find ways you need to find the best process for you to motivate your staff. Okay, and according to the to this module, it says that all the contemporary theories that we have learned today actually can complement each other. Okay, you can even combine. All right, you can even what we call the use. You can interchangeably use within each other because according to the experts of motivation, they are complementing each other. You can use in between. This is the example of the integrating theories of integrating the contemporary theories of motivation. All right. Elements of group behavior. Okay. Group usually, when you say formal group, it's referring to the work group, the group inside the organization, where the departments, units, division, that is the group. Okay. For this topic, you should be able to distinguish between different types of groups, describe the punctuated equilibrium models of group development, and then show how role requirements change in different situations. And then demonstrate how norms exert influence on individuals' behavior. And then norms of the group, referring to the norms of the group. Show how status and size differences affect group performance. Describe how issues cohesiveness and diversity can be integrated with the group effectiveness and contrast the strengths and weaknesses of group decision making. Okay. If we are referring to groups, referring to two or more individuals interacting and interdependent who come together to achieve particular objective, because the objective of the organization's goal. Usually, group is referring to the formal groups defined of the organization structure. And informal groups refers to neither formally structured nor organizationally determined. It's not determined by organization. Like lunch buddies, you have favorite people to go lunch with, right? Lunch buddies from other departments, right? Minum kopi, cigarette break, groups, right? Kan satu geng pergi keluar merokok. That's the informal groups. But usually we are trying to concentrate on the formal groups. Okay. In-group favoritism and out-group. Okay. according to a research, it says that there are two types of groups. It occurs when we see members of our group as better than other people, and people who are not in group on our group as all the same. Our group versus the rest, right? Kalau ada satu group company, Makoba, dia punya ada organisation, okay. MCKK, Malay College, Kuala Kangsar versus the rest, who's working with in the Makoba building, for example, is not under, he's not formally tied with the alumni of Malay College Kuala Kangsar, is the rest. That's the I mean the example. Yeah, that's the example. I don't know whether is it correct or not. Right. The out group is the inverse of in group. Okay. Those who are in group, those who are not in the in group, is on the out group. Can mean anyone outside the group, but usually it is identified as other group. Okay, that's in group and out groups. Is referring to the favoritism. Okay. The study of the group, several studies of the group, we call it the group property. The first is the norms and conformity. Okay. Okay, norms ni norma-norma atau kebiasaan dan ikutan. Okay. Reference group, according to Ash studies, which were conducted in 1950s, found that groups can encourage members to change their attitudes and behaviors to be more in line with those other group members. Okay. It means that a group can influence few individuals to be adapted to the attitude or to the norms of the group. As it says that groups in which a person is aware of other members, okay, define self as a member, believe group members to be significant, and usually individuals try to conform to norms of these groups. Okay, if say, for example, the group doesn't, or one department, they all are working together, and then come a new faces, they are not familiar to work with each other, but the group can encourage people to, that individuals to change their behavior so that they can work together, work in a team, so on and so forth. Okay. According to Ash studies, just now the full name is Solomon Ash. Okay, studies conducted by in 1950s, it says that members avoid being visibly different. Okay, because they don't want to be separated. And members' differing opinions feel extensive pressure to align with others. Will these two PowerPoint be in UROX, or you'll drop the post to WhatsApp? Yes, I'll drop the post to WhatsApp. It will cost one venti Starbucks for one slide, but because today now I don't drink Starbucks anymore, yeah, because I dah boycott, so it will be free.
Now what you drink, Kalau bukan Starbucks. Apa you drink? You not Starbucks?
Zeus.
Tongkat Ali.
Oh, tongkat Ali. Kalau darah tinggi, kena aware tongkat Ali. High blood pressure, you have to be careful. You have to drink a lot of water, plain water, if you drink tongkat Ali. Okay. The group property number 2, another aspect of a group that you will study is norms and behavior. Okay, Hawthorne studies from the norms and behavior. It says that they found that worker behavior was highly influenced by group norms, and that individual productivity was influenced by standards of the group sets forth. Also, according to the findings of this study, it says that money was not as important in determining worker output as group standards and sentiments were. So that means, according to Horton study, it says that groups prioritize everything, even in terms of output. In terms of output also depends on the group. It's not because even it will supersedes the money. It says that productivity increased because groups were paid attention by the observers, not because of changes in environment. Okay, what happened to the Horton group? This is one reason why I said that it's better for students to learn principle of management first, because in principle of management, they tell you about what happened in the Horton study. Horton study ni memula, alright? They're gonna see the changes in environment, right? They put employees or workers in one huge room, right? And then they observe, right? Sometimes they change the light to the brighter light. Sometimes they dim the light. Sometimes they change the color of the light, right? At the end of the study, they saw that there is an increase of the performance. And they do a survey. All of them tell that not because of the environment, not because you change the light, but they feel motivated when somebody watch or somebody observe their work. You see? Dia nak buat satu study, dia dapat findings yang berlainan. That's Horton. Not because of the changes in environment, but they have been paid attention with the work. Workers in groups do not maximize individual economic rewards, right? Group standards are set and enforced by the group itself. That's another study of group by Horton. All right, we'll look at the deviant workplace behavior. Some individuals do not like to conform, do not like to follow others, and adhere to set norms for a number of reasons. Individuals of this nature may engage in deviant workplace behavior or behavior that goes against international norms and hinders the desired outcomes of the organization. Okay, those who don't want to follow other behaviors, other norms has been set by organization, okay, there will be a highly probability that they will engage in deviant workplace behavior. What is the deviant workplace behavior? Voluntary behavior that violates significant organizational norms, and in doing so, threaten well-being of the organization or its members. That's a deviant workplace behavior. Okay. This deviant workplace behavior likely to flourish when it's supported by group norms. So that means, and people are in groups. So that means the more people who do not like to conform or follow the set norms given by the group, right? The more likely it will be flourish. Okay, because one or two individual we can control. But what about a group norms? I mean, a group of people who doesn't like to follow the norms and regulation, then it is more likely that the deviant workplace behavior will be flourish. Okay. What is the type of deviant workplace behavior in terms of production, leaving early. It is also a part of the deviant workplace behavior. Intentionally working slowly, laid back, wasting resources in terms of property, sabotage, lying about hours work, stealing from organization. In terms of political, it shows favoritism, gossiping and spreading rumors, blaming co-workers. And in terms of personal aggression, sexual harassment, verbal abuse, stealing from co-workers. These are the types of the workplace behavior. Okay, another study is about status of a group. Status is another group property and refers to the position or rank to groups or their members as a way to differentiate members. Status can influence behavior.
Tengok Azmi rasa dia masak ayam masak lemak simpan ni semua, lepas tu dia masak lagi sedap dia.
Okay, status can influence behavior and has been found to be a significant motivator. So, the higher status you are acknowledged in that particular group, right? The more motivation will you have, or the more motivated you are. The status characteristic theory suggests that status is derived by one of the three sources. Okay, it is determined by first the power a person wields over others. Then, whether you are influencing others, how much influence that you have over others, and a person's ability to contribute to a group's goal. What's the ability? And then individuals' personal characteristics. These are the three determinants to contribute to the what we call group status. And then the impact of the status. Okay, what's the impact? It says that status can have an impact on a number of things in group. First, it can impact norms, right? Within a group where high status members do not feel the need to conform to group norms, but can pressure others to conform. Okay, they're not saying that this is true or right or wrong, but there are trend ataupun they can be tend to do so. Okay, this is a study of the phenomenon, right? Second, it can impact group interaction, where members who hold more status tend to be more assertive and can hinder the new ideas being presented. That's also negative. Finally, it impacts perceived equity in a group, which will influence how engaged others are in the group process. Okay, because the more, all right, firstly, the status and norms. High status members often have more freedom to deviate from norms and are better able to resist conformity pressures. Okay, that's one. The second impact is high status people are more assertive. Low status members may not. Because of that, what's the effect? Low status members may not participate and group creativity may suffer because the high status group members, right, expecting that their ideas and their opinions matters more than others. Okay, that's the impact of the status. Okay, More impact, status and inequity. Perceived inequity creates disequilibrium. Okay, status impact perceived equity in a group, which will influence how engaged others are in the group process. Your status may be affected by the people who you are affiliated with. And that's the status and stigmatization. People who are stigmatized can infect others. And it is stigma by association. And then finally, it will create a situation where there is called us versus them mentality. That we acquire early life influences how society treats in groups and out groups. It is also slightly be similar with the in groups and out groups. High member status and low, low members, out groups at the low member status. And then group study also look at the size, all right? Group property number 4, in order for you to study group, you have also look at the size. It says that smaller groups are faster at completing tasks. Members perform better in a smaller groups. Okay, large groups are consistently better at problem solving. That's why I must say, for example, you have certain tasks. Ataupun masa you belajar dulu kan, you are in the club or society, when you want to gather ideas, opinion, it will be in a large group, in a meeting, all right? Where we agree with the ideas and we want to execute the ideas, you execute in a small group. Okay, 2 people do this, 2 people do this. Okay, bukan semua kerja dibuat oleh semua orang. Sebab smaller groups are faster at completing tasks compared to the larger groups. Okay, and this is example of the scenario of the size. And then if, right, for example, you have a round number of groups in terms of executing the task, in terms of performing the task, they might be tend to have a social loafing tendency for individuals to expend less effort when working collectively than alone. This is just for your knowledge, consistent with the individualistic culture. Okay, there's a tendency of social loafing, kan? Macam okay, just like bagi perumpamaan seperti when you want to angkat meja, kan? Meja tu diangkat sampai 8 orang, kan? Yang angkat yang beratnya 2-3 orang ya, yang lain semua letak jari, 2 jari buat apa berat, kan? That is social loafing, kan? That's when we're talking about size in a group. How to prevent social loafing? If you are a leader, right, you want to ensure that the work is being distributed evenly. Okay, what do we need to do is set group goals. Okay, we'll look at the goals just like organization. On the smaller scale of a group, you also have a goal to achieve, and then increase intergroup competition, and then engage in peer evaluation. You evaluate between the groups. Select members who have high motivation and like to work in groups, and distribute group rewards based on members' individual contribution. That is to prevent social loafing. Of course, if you have what we call, if you have to create a team, right, within a group, you need to reward based on the team effort. But in order for you to prevent social loafing, you can have additional individual reward beside the group rewards. Okay, study related to group number 5, cohesiveness. Apa dia cohesiveness ni? What is cohesiveness? What do you understand by cohesiveness? The degree to which members of the group are attracted to each other and motivated to stay in the group. Seia sekata, kan? Dia punya what we call how you work in the group in a team, right? You work in apa dia punya term tu? Allah. You work in a synergy, right? Your work is complement to to each other. That's a synergy. That's cohesiveness. Perpaduan, bond, unity. You can say that as well, right? Semua betul. That's the cohesiveness. It said that the degree to which members of a group are attracted to each other and motivated to stay in the group. Performance-related norms are the moderating variable for productivity and cohesiveness. It means that high cohesiveness with high norms give higher productivity. Okay. Do you understand what is moderating variable or not? This term, apa dia moderating variable? Okay, variable usually if you are talking about social studies or if we are talking about the qualitative research, right? Variable is a factor, okay? But if it is a moderating variable, it is a factor which either increase or decrease the effect. That's the moderating variable. It can moderate. Okay. That's the moderating variable. Sama ada dia punya factor tu boleh menaikkan atau merendahkan factor tersebut. I'll give you an example. Macam mana? Let me create one example. Okay. All right. Okay. Study. All right. Numbers of study, okay, is a factor for your success in result. Okay. Study is a factor of your success in the result. But it is moderated by moderated by the number of what we call concentration atau tumpuan belajar. Kalau tumpuan belajar you tinggi, it will increase the factor for you to success. Kalau tumpuan belajar you rendah, walaupun belajar you tinggi, it will decrease the probability of you to succeed. Itu maknanya moderating factor. It will moderate the earlier factor. Alright? You have the main factor and the effect. But the moderating variable will change the result of the main factor. That's the moderating factor. So that means performance-related norms, okay, are the moderating variable for productivity and cohesiveness. That means initially cohesiveness will lead to the productivity. Okay, cohesiveness will lead to productivity, but performance-related norms, right, will moderate the factor. Okay, it may increase the productivity, it may decrease the productivity. Okay, dia kacau cohesiveness sebab kalaupun ia sekata cohesiveness tu, you punya norms tu tak sama dengan organisation, kan? It will decrease the productivity. Macam semua satu kepala, semua satu geng, tapi semua satu geng ponteng, semua satu geng mengular, kan? Kan? It will become a moderating factor. It will become a pool moderator. Maknanya dia merendahkan lagi, kan? Kalau ia sekata semua bekerja satu ni and everything, right? Working hard, working smart and everything, and they are cohesive, right? It will be a moderating factor. That's why performance-related norms are moderating variable for cohesiveness and productivity. Boleh? Boleh? Okay. How to encourage cohesiveness? Make the group smaller, kan? Even though 2 heads is better than 1, it depends on the task. The number of people depends on the number of the tasks. Encourage agreement with group goals. Everybody must agree with the goals of the group, right? Increase the time spent together. Increase the status and perceived difficulty of group membership. All right. Sometimes you give what we call challenging tasks, right? Challenging yet attainable, right? Stimulate competition with other groups. Okay, give rewards to the group rather than to individual members, because to encourage the cohesiveness, and physically isolate the group from on certain time, right? Because they want to have their own time together, right? Okay, another study of group is about diversity. Diversity, apa makna diversity? What is it? Kepelbagaian, right? Diverse. The degree to which members of the group are similar to or different from one another. Okay, that is diversity. All right, not only different from one another, but similar to. Because why? Okay, for example, you are the same gender, kan? Oh, kat US tak boleh cakap gender sebab ada binary semua, kan? Lantak dia orang lah, kan? Okay, in Malaysian context, you are the same gender but might be different race. You are different race. You are the same race but different gender, or you same race, same gender but different way of work, kan? That's why it is similar and different. Similar to and different, not only different. Diversity involves also similarities. That is diversity. Diversity increases group conflict, okay? Of course, at the first stage, right? But may improve group performance in the long term. When you study diversity in management, you will see why it says that diversity is related to performance management and also two other factors, performance management, financial performance, and I forgot another one. I also have to refer. Okay, diversity contribute to these three success. All right, may improve the performance in the long term. That's why if you see a study of the fresh graduates, they prefer working in a company which have a diverse group of people. That's according to the study. There are two types of diversity, which is surface level diversity, in which that the differences and the similarity that you can see on the surface, like your skin color, right? Even your race. That's the surface level diversity. Your gender, your age, that's the surface level diversity. The things that you can see, the differences. The deep level diversity referring to the differences which you cannot see, right? For example, what the way that you are working. Sometimes you're working very fast. Sometimes you are relaxed. Sometimes you're working slow. Okay, your feelings, different type of feelings towards something, right? It is also a deep level diversity. Okay, your what we call your value, right? Sometimes it is a deep level diversity. So I just want to ask you one simple question. Is religion surface level or deep level diversity?
Sorry, Doctor, can you ask the question again? Is religion considered diversity?
Okay, what type of diversity is religion? Is it surface level or deep level?
I think it's deep, my
It's
opinion.
cultural.
Deep. Okay, correct. Senang mengajar orang-orang yang experience ni. When I teach, for example, in UniKL, some of them say surface level. Maybe because experience lah kan. Of course, like in Malaysia tu kita boleh tengok kan, because a majority of the, for example, Chinese, they are Buddhist or Christian kan. Majority of Indians, they are Hindus or Christian. Majority of Malay is Muslim. That's why they say surface level. Yes, it's actually a deep level diversity, because we cannot see their belief to the skin color or to the face or other obvious things in the physical body. It is a deep level because of the same as your moral judgment, same as your what we call belief, right? This is the deep level diversity. Okay, the challenges of group diversity. It says that overall, although the research of fault lines suggests that diversity in groups is a potentially double-edged sword, recent work indicates that they can be strategically employed to improve performance. Perceived fault lines is a perceived division that split groups into more subgroups based on individual differences, such as gender, race, age, work experience, and educations. Splits are generally detrimental to group functioning and performance. You splitting the groups according to your groups or subgroups. He said that one study suggested that fault lines based on differences in skill, knowledge, and expertise could be beneficial when the groups were in organizational cultures that strongly emphasize result. This type of culture focuses people's attention on what's important to the company rather than on problems arising from the subgroups. The explanation also dah lari jauh sebenarnya. Okay, the fault line itself is actually splitting groups into subgroups based on the differences. It says that there are critics stating that even though you split, right, it is for the purpose of group functioning. It is for the purpose of performance. Okay, when you split people into tasks, right, according to their similarities. Okay, what are the example? Okay, when you split tasks based on what we call maybe races, and it will increase the performance of the group or organization. An example, contoh, banyak company buat, even though they are diverse, dia pecahkan according to team of races. Contohnya.
Maybe in a restaurant, or
Okay, boleh.
or maybe in a hotel where you have a Chinese restaurant, you have a Western restaurant, or you have a Malay restaurant.
Yeah,
so maybe
correct.
you tend to, okay, Chinese, you go to Chinese restaurant, and Malay will go to Malay.
If the company have a different diversity of restaurant, right? Maybe okay, maybe they split into the even into the belief, because sometimes the Malay go to the halal restaurant, right? And then a Chinese restaurant, and so on and so forth. So as to the sales, because we in the sales team, right, marketing team, when they conduct the sales, we have to learn the fact that people here in Malaysia, there are people still are favoring the same race when they want to talk about something, want to talk about more complicated thing, right? For example, when we want to promote certain new products, right? In where location? Okay, in Bangi, for example, of course, they send majority from the Malay race, betul tak? Kan? If they go to area, for example, a Chinese area, right? Majority of the Chinese area, they send the sales team where majority are Chinese. Of course, some are Malays and some are Indians. Okay, because we also have to in business, we have to follow what happened to the environment right now. The people are still some people are still comfortable talking to the same race, correct? So we want to promote our product better. So we want to tackle this, then we have to separate the task into the subgroups based on individual similarities, actually. Correct. Okay. Group diversity Property, I think this should be property group decision making. Okay. All right. Group decision making. Okay, group decision making. We're talking about groups in general. What are the strengths and weaknesses in group decision making? Generate more complete information and knowledge. Increase diversity of views. Increase acceptance of solution. All are the strengths of decision making. Okay. When you want to decide, before you decide something, when you want to discuss, you can get more information, you can get more feedback, more ideas, right? And then increase diversity of views, right? Okay, you are not getting feedback from certain group only. You can getting feedback from certain people from certain background, all right? Maybe we have a certain issues or problem that you need to solve in the task. Maybe these issues have been solved by the people from Zimbabwe, and you have a team from you have a team member from Zimbabwe say that we have solved this problem back in Zimbabwe before, right? That's an increased diversities of views, right? And then increase acceptance of solution. So when we decide certain thing based on group, so there will be more people agree with the solution. So there will be increase and acceptance of solution. The weaknesses, it takes longer, obviously, longer time, right? There will be a conformity pressures. What do you understand by conformity pressures? Actually, number 2 and number 3 is somewhat the same. Conformity pressures and discussion can be dominated by one or a few members. Can you clarify a bit about this, number 2 and number 3?
It says people opinions in your group can change your opinion as well. Your thought process could also change based on your people around you.
Yes, correct. Because sometimes we have different opinion, right? Because we thought that our idea might be slightly better than others, but because we have been pressured by majority, then our solution is not being accepted. That's one of the weakness in the group decision making. If there is there's few people thinks that they are in the in groups, or they are higher status groups. They think that their status is higher compared to others. So they are the ones who dominate, okay, the discussion. Even dominate in giving solution. Right? Where we give solution differently, we feel pressure because they are not being followed by others. And then ambiguous responsibility for the final outcome. If you have certain solution already, but you don't discuss thoroughly on the execution, then there will be certain unclear about who's going to do the task, who's going to do the job, so on and so forth, right? Sebab you tahulah dalam meeting you guys sendiri pun tahu dah masuk dalam meeting, kadang-kadang tu yang kerja je 2-3 orang, yang bercakapnya 5-6 orang. Kan? Yang bercakap tu sometimes bukan buat kerja pun. Betul tak? Kan? You have to do this, you have to do this, like this, but sebenarnya dia tak buat kerja langsung, yang orang lain yang buat kerja. Betul? Right, that's the reality. So you need to be specific in executing the task. Okay, the responsibility must be clear. Who's doing who? If not, it became a weakness of a group decision making. Okay. Group also discuss on their effectiveness and efficiency. Okay. In terms of accuracy on effectiveness, group is better than average individual, but worse than most accurate group member. What do I understand by that? I repeat, group is better than average individual, but worse than most accurate group members. What the slide is trying to say, actually. Dia nak tahu. Okay. Of course, there are certain tasks, as what we have discussed, group is better, right, than individual. But it became worse when you have a wrong number of group. If it is too small or too large, then it became worse than individual did, right? When you do certain tasks, groups is better. But if the group is oversized or undersized, then it's going to be worse. So make sure that you have an accurate group member in order to do certain tasks, right? Or in order for you to discuss certain things, also you have to have a right number of group member. When talking about speed of executing the task, individuals are better. In terms of giving creativity, creative ideas, groups are better. And then the degree of acceptance on certain solution, groups are better. Efficiency, groups are generally less efficient because if you talk about efficient, is talking about what's the most what we call the fastest, less cost, right, way to solve the problem. All right. Group think and group shift. Group think relates to norms and describes situation in which group pressures for conformity deter the group from critically appraising unusual minority or unpopular views. This is what we're afraid when there is a conformity pressure, that what is discussed now, and discussions is dominated by one or few members because they are the one who became groupthink. Okay, groupthink is not a group. It's actually a phenomenon that happens in a group. Okay, in which group pressures for conformity. When somebody have a different idea, right? But it is better when somebody have a fresh idea, right? But it is not popular, then it will, as been said here, you'll be useless, right? Because they are being pressured, right? They are being pressured because of the conformity of a bigger group. That's the group thing. It's a phenomenon of certain minority or unpopular views being pressured by the majority views, even though it is worse than the unpopular views. That's a group thing. And we're talking about group shift. Describe the way group members tend to exaggerate their initial positions when discussing alternatives and arriving at solution. Okay, I repeat. Describe the way group members tend to exaggerate, okay, their initial positions when discussing alternatives or arriving at solution. What do I understand by this? Group shift. Anyone try?
Maybe example during a kidnap. So kidnapper and the police, they want to discuss, so they will exaggerate their initial position.
Okay. How they exaggerate their own initial position?
Of course, the kidnapper will say, I want 50 million, right? Then the police will say they can only pay you 5 million. So they negotiate. Then they may keep on shifting their position.
Okay, shifting their positions means here you can give that the same example, but the position is that where is there actually it's not where they actually stand, it's where they are actually belong to actually, because saying that in the kidnap position, right? The police discuss with them, kan? Kata kalau you tak serah budak tu, okay, kami akan hantar satu tim tembak you, kan, kata contoh, kan? What we say about the group shift is the pencolek say that you try lah. I kenal ketua polis negara. Sebenarnya tak kenal pun, kan? They change, they exaggerate their position, right? So that they can get a better result. Okay. Alright. In terms of dalam office punya environment, kan, when they want to give their ideas, for example, they present something, they say, I've do some research on this, I've do some research on this, right? I've done a lot of study, I've made a lot of people saying my solution is the best, kan? So how they exaggerate the initial position? Maybe dia tak jumpa pun orang, kan? Maybe they don't. Maybe he or she doesn't do the research, but just watch the social media, kan? That's the exaggerating their initial positions of their current status to what we call to influence group members to follow his or her idea. That's a group shift. Or in this case, right? We are talking about group members, so that means the group members' initial position, right? We have done a research, we have studied, we have interviewed key person, so that others will follow his ideas or opinion. That's a group shift. It's also a phenomenon. Okay, it says that group thing, deterioration of individuals' mental efficiency. Okay, if reality testing and moral judgment as a result of a group pressures. A common problem with groups is groupthink. This occurs when a group is seeking conformity and there is a pressure to come to a conclusion without critically appraising alternative viewpoints. Yes, because it's been conquered by one particular party only. It says that members are more likely to engage in a group thing when they tend to rationalize away any resistance to assumptions. and they feel pressure to support the majority. Doubters tend to keep silent and minimize their thoughts on what might be wrong with a proposed solution, and the rest of the group interprets this to be a yes vote. Okay. Orang yang senyap, sometimes orang yang tak setuju, sometimes senyap, because they are being pressured, even though dia tak suka benda tu. But this silence has been misinterpreted, misinterpreted, yeah, by the group thing, saying that they also agree with their opinion. Okay, that's why it is a danger to have a groupthink. All right, how to minimize a groupthink? Limit group size to less than 10. Encourage group leaders to actively seek input from all members and avoid expressing their own opinions. Appoint a devil's advocate and use exercise that stimulate active discussion of diverse alternatives. Right? Okay, this is just for your knowledge. This is a group discussion, decision-making techniques. Okay, when you use this technique, your result will be more effective. Interacting groups, okay, meet to face-to-face, rely on verbal or non-verbal interaction to communicate. Brainstorming generates a list of creative ideas from the root and from the root cross. And then nominal group techniques. So everybody will pitch. Everybody will pitch the idea, the solution, and then only then we can decide which is the best. That's a NGT. Restrict solution during the decision-making process to encourage independent thinking. Okay. Before we go, I just have to inform that. Before that, any questions sebelum tu? Any question, guys?
Doktor, saya nak tanya. Adakah when we group discussion, kita akan macam membesarkan sebab kita dipengaruhi orang lain. Sebab tu kita membesarkan kita punya opinion macam tu ah.
Okay.
Bukan you punya first intention, tetapi you bila you dengar you akan either you pergi sebelah sini atau pergi sebelah sana. So itu sangat bahaya kan kalau ada macam tu.
Yes, because when betul, Mesin. When you give opinion, sometimes it has not been accepted, right? Because a lot of groupthink over there, then there might be a phenomenon in which that you yourself become a group shift. Kan? You shift your position. You kata ini adalah result, ini yang saya bagi tu, kata you cakap that authority has approved my proposal. Kan? You have, you shift your own position. You nak, macam you cakap, yang membesarkan position you supaya being accepted. If not, your opinion or your proposal is being rejected, and you've been pressured by the group thing.
Berarti kita kita nak tunjukkan, nak melampaukan, lepas tu orang akan accept kita punya opinion macam tu.
Yes, correct. That is what happened. That is what happened when there is a group thing. It because some people might have no way to might find a way to become a group shift. Terpengaruh, yes. Okay, apa yang soalan? Dah lupa dah nak tanya tadi. Okay. Oh yeah. One more thing. The activity, just to remind you, the overall activities. Okay, after this, what happens? Sekejap ya. Sorry, I have to take your time for this weekend. Kan? Ada plan nak keluar ke hari ni? Anyone? pukul 11 ni.
Saya tak ada.
So tired, doktor. Nak keluar apa lagi?
Tired Okay, today is webinar number 3. Okay, the quiz number 2, remember, I will provide you quiz number 2 is the same concept, same number of questions. Topics, I will inform you by groups later. Maybe within these few days. The quiz will start on the 27th of January. Ayo, age factor. 2024, it will end on the 2nd of November of February 2024. Okay, you have 1 week. Okay, masa tu ada apa? Masa tu ada weekends pun ada, weekdays pun ada. So that means those who are not available during weekends, you can do it during weekdays. Because 27th of January is on Saturday, 28th is on Sunday. Okay, 29, 30, 31 sampai 2 is on weekdays. You have 7 days. Okay, I'll tell you which topic. Tapi ini 1-2 topik sajalah yang keluar. It's still under your slides, right? You can just read your slide for your quiz. So the next class on the 20th January, there will be class presentation as what I have presented to you just now. Okay, guys, good luck. Have a nice weekend. Anything, you just WhatsApp me through phone. Okay, see you guys within 2 weeks. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Doktor.
Tanya boleh?
Boleh?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Doktor ada assignment lagi ke? Ada additional assignment ke ataupun ni yang last?
Satna, tak ada. Yang selepas ni, selepas presentation ada quiz yang I cakap tu. Lepas tu your ni kan, your
final.
No, your group assignment, remember?
Ya, lepas ni kan kita ada group assignment yang doktor pilih tadi kan, yang hari ni tadi kan. Lepas tu ada presentation. Kita ada group assignment yang tadi yang ada 3 topik tu, subtopik kita kena buat tu. Lepas tu kita kena present. Itu je kan last kan? Tak ada lagi kan?
Ada final exam.
Yalah, maksudnya yang untuk yang assignment yang tu je lah, jangan ketawa.
Saja menyekat.
Sebab SEM ni banyak sikit lah assignment. Sebab dia ada satu subjek yang heavy sikit yang kena bagi attention kita.
Berapa subjek you guys ada?
Saya ada 6. Lepas tu ada macam
POM pening.
Ya betul.
Yeah.
POM tu dia ambil masa lama.
Banyak susah soalan.
6 subjek yang ambil lah, slow relax. You guys dah kerja semua kan, tak ada fikir pasal nak cari kerja lagi.
Dia memang dah bagi 6 subjek. Unirazak yang bagi.
Okay, yalah, ni pun program Unirazak memang dia bagi fast ni kan. And then it is and then you can graduate faster compared to some other universities kan.
Doktor nak minta tolong boleh tak?
Boleh
tak bagi soalan jangan susah-susah. Soalan belit-belit kan. Straightforward je.
Ni. Tak boleh. Dia kena tinggi punya. Harvard punya style.
Doctor, sorry, I have a question again. I was confused, tired, I also don't know why. So you said we got presentation on the 20th based on the PDF you showed earlier. Okay, good. There's presentation 1 pending. Then got project assignment kan? Based on a journal paper that we have to like do a literature review lah kan?
Yang tu lah. Yang tu aja hantar end of the last class on the webinar.
February, yeah. So we still have 2 more assignments lah.
Itu je.
Okay, thank you.
Kan, tak sangka dah nak dekat 30 Februari.
Ya doktor, sebab tu kalau boleh soalan janganlah Harvard sangat. Soalan SPM dah lah.
Oh, SPM dapat sijil SPM lah. Uni Razak tukar status sijil SPM.
Okey,
Mr. Chin nak gelak ya. Tak adalah. Okey, thank you. Ada soalan lain?
Ada,
Okay,
doktor. Saya nak tanya final exam dengan lagi satu assignment tak sama kan? Assignment itu 3 soalan. Topik tu kita pilih satu grup punya.
Betul.
So lagi ada satu assignment personal punya kan?
Personal itu adalah quiz.
Oh, itu adalah quiz pada itu personal punya adalah quiz. Okey. Lepas tu 3 saja lagi satu final exam kan? I penting dengan I tak tahu mana satu.
Itulah pening tu adalah satu sacrifice juga for study. This is not bad moment. So nanti later it will become a journey, and then you think back, you can just laugh it off, kan? Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, doktor. Good night, doktor. Terima kasih, doktor.
You too.
Thank you, doktor. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, doktor.
Welcome. Apa you nak leave I ni confused sikit macam mana nak stop the record, macam mana nak log off.